Well, Supergirl, the new teaser trailer that gives us first look to this next chapter of the DCU. Many of you know I'm not a huge fan of this new DC universe. Superman, I was not a huge fan of. I gave it a shot. I watched it all the way through. Not really my cup of tea. I think just James Gunn's directing style and his creative vision is just probably a little too campy for me. And I find that he ends up recycling his ideas over and over again into his movies. Superman felt like Guardians of the Galaxy, and not like Superman. The coolest fight scene in that whole movie didn't even involve Superman, and even though the movie's called Superman. So yeah, I got a lot of cynicism here and a lot of pessimism leading up to this Supergirl first teaser trailer. But of course, this movie is being directed by somebody else, Craig Gillespie. This guy, I'm a huge fan of his work. Director of Cruella, director of I, Tonya, director of Dumb Money, which I loved. Very underrated film, I think. Not underrated, maybe overlooked, I think. Underappreciated, perhaps. However, even though it's not James Gunn's film, James Gunn is still very much the creative force behind this DCU. And like Kevin Feige in the MCU, he has a lot of creative power in these films. Even though he may not be writing the screenplay or directing it, I think he still has a hand. And I don't know, something tells me we're going to see a lot of James Gunn in this teaser trailer. But hey, if it's your cup of tea, more power to you. I hope this movie's good. I really do. So let's do it.
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy. Cars are out. Hereby declare that 23 will be the best year yet. Let's be honest, babe, it's not a very high bar to clear.
I didn't know any of you were still alive. What was it like to lose everything in a day?
Proton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind. Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Do others on your planet have powers like you?
No, it's a pretty small group of two.
What's Superman like?
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Okay. So not a complete dumpster fire. However, it is just a teaser trailer. Have to remind myself that, we're not going to get huge story beats, although we're not going to get super detailed in terms of the narrative of the story, the structure, or anything like that. But from this, we get an idea that it is sort of an origin-ish story. We learn about Supergirl obviously in this film, but I think Supergirl is going to become Supergirl, like literally in this film. I mean, she already has her powers, all of that, right? Like she already knows how to use them, I presume, but she's going to have some sort of massive character development here. And I guess this one seems more like an origin story than Superman, which is interesting. However, I still found this teaser trailer to be incredibly confusing. Like, and not confused. Look, people who watch this teaser trailer, might just be casual movie fans, casual comic book movie fans, and a lot of people might know who Kara Zor-El is, and they know that they know that she is Superman's cousin. But if you are just a normal person who has no idea of the comic books or the lore or anything like that, and they just see this teaser trailer for Supergirl, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people think Supergirl is like Superman's girlfriend or something. Like, honestly, I think that's what a lot of people think. I don't think people know that it's his cousin, or they could think it's his sister or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think this trailer is like incredibly confusing. It gives no groundwork at all. I think anybody watching this, like, who doesn't have any idea, like, is not going to be enticed to see this movie. They're just going to be like, who is this? Why should I care? I mean, granted, maybe they saw Superman and they understand this, this is a continuation of that, I guess. Sure. But even then it's a little vague. It's just bizarre in terms of it's just, and this is sort of goes in line with a problem that I have with the DCU, which is, as interesting as I think it is to go into these movies without any sort of introduction or origin in the traditional sense, and sort of hope that the audience understands or trust the audience enough that they understand who these characters are, their origin stories, like the first Superman, right? James Gunn, the movie that just came out essentially this year. That movie was like, it started 3 years into Superman's career, right? Like, it has no origin. And I think the movie did suffer because of that. That's my opinion. And so as much as I can admire that sort of strategy of storytelling, which is like, let's just skip through it. Let's just go right into the action here. I think it can definitely be to its detriment if not done well. And I think Superman didn't do it well. I think this movie, from the looks of it, at least the teaser trailer, didn't do any good job of telling us who, like, obviously we know her name is Kara Zor-El, but, and we know that just from a little bit of the dialogue, yes, her planet got destroyed and stuff like that, but there's not enough. Again, it is a teaser trailer. I understand that. However, even a teaser trailer should be able to entice people who don't even know who the hell this is. And it should be able to entice, obviously, people who know the lore and everything like that. So I think as a trailer, it didn't really do anything for me. Obviously, what we can gather is that this movie is going to be a sort of a slight team-up movie. There's this side character that Kara Zor-El meets, and she and her sort of band together, and they're on to do something. And the dog is back, of course, Crypto, that is Kara Zor-El's dog. And I think this takes place in a different planet, clearly. And and then throughout the majority of the movie, I guess she has this trench coat, and then eventually she is more proud of where she comes from and her outfit and stuff. So I don't know. And we get her to become the Supergirl that we all know and love. I was a little afraid that this was going to have a little too much James Gunn influence, and there are those one-liners that are thrown in there, just, for comedic relief. Like, there's a bunch of bad guys around the protagonist, and the protagonist is like, oh, well, this isn't going to end well for you, just like all this quippy little stuff. And she's got a little trench coat and reminds me of Star-Lord. And there's use of classic pop and classic rock music in the trailer, which is also very reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy. And there's, she has a sort of a partner, and she's probably going to meet other people along the way, and she's going to get help along the way. And I don't know. It just kind of screams Guardians of the Galaxy to me. It screams a lot of James Gunn. The dog, of course, is back in this one, and it's there to connect with people and make them feel stuff, because we all love our little cute animals on our movie screens. God, I sound like such a curmudgeon, don't I? But it's true. It looks like from the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be a fine, fun movie, I guess. Probably maybe even more fun than Superman, I think. But it doesn't really look that interesting. It wasn't until the very end we get this sort of We didn't even see what the hell she was doing. She sort of, I guess, has this malice, this axe, I don't know, and she's just swinging it around. I guess that's the really only time we see her use her powers. Again, I know it's a teaser trailer, but a teaser trailer is supposed to entice me. And it's just very whatever. Some of the shots are pretty cool, I guess. It still looks like a Marvel film, it doesn't really look any different. The color grading is whatever. I will say the one thing that's interesting, and thank God that this is the one thing that's enticing me, is the fact that this is a young Carl Zor-El, and she's an alcoholic, I guess. Like, she's already young and she loves partying and drinking, and she's very mature or very unstable. And she is trying to find herself. That's something that we can all relate with. I can definitely relate with it right now. I'm in my late 20s and I'm still having an existential crisis. So it's pretty cool. And I really like the line that she says where, Superman sees the good in everything. I see the truth. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Are they going to go really deep with that? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt there's going to be any real sophistication in this movie. I highly doubt there's going to be any sort of depth at all or deep exploration or character study, nothing life-changing here. This is just going to be your typical comic book film. I'm calling it right now. That's how I see it, because that's what Superman was. And I'm pretty sure that's what this movie is going to be. It's going to be just a movie that comes out. It's going to entertain. It's going to be fun enough. And that's it. And it's going to be forgotten forever. Like, that's what, the original Superman film, remembered forever. Zack Snyder's Superman films, as much as you may hate them or as much as you may feel indifferent to them, they are going to be remembered for years and years to come, because at least they made an impact. At least they made people think, right? At least they made people criticize or have exaggerated opinions or whatever. Get angry, get sad, get happy, whatever. This Superman film just came out and it was like a fart in the wind. It was like, whatever. And that's what I feel like this movie's going to be, these movies don't have any depth. These movies don't have any gravitas to them. That's what it feels like to me, because comic book characters are more than just comic book characters. I think they are a reflection. They are our modern gods and monsters. There are our modern titans, they are modern mythological beings. That's what they are, From the looks of it, it does look like it might have an interesting sort of story arc for Supergirl. Is it going to have any depth? I don't know, but the teaser did tease it a little bit. And it didn't really have a lot of action as well, which is kind of disappointing. It wasn't until the very end where we saw, again, I know it's a teaser trailer. I know, but I wanted to see more stuff, The poster is interesting. She has this giant trench coat, and obviously when she takes off the trench coat, it's a metaphor for finding yourself, embracing who you really are meant to be, or finding your purpose, whatever it may be, right? It could be cool, It could be cool. Is this movie going to be more interesting than Superman? I don't know. I feel like it might be, which I guess is a plus, but there's really not much to improve, but any type of improvement is welcome, given what I think of that first Superman film. So not really much to beat. I don't know. Music is going to be a big part, clearly right from the very beginning. Again, it's very just James Gunn. There's a lot of James Gunn here. There's probably going to be a baby somewhere in this film, probably. We already have the animal. We got the animal covered. We got the misfit covered. We got the person who's lost, we got that. So I don't know. We'll see. It's just a teaser trailer, but so far, I don't know. I think it was more interesting than Superman. I don't know. I don't know. Superman. There was a lot of potential with Superman, but yeah, didn't pan out. So, anyways, those are my thoughts on this teaser trailer. I want to know what you have to say, though. What you have to think. Do you disagree with me? Probably. Or you may agree with me. Let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a like if you like, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, you beautiful creature. But I think that's it for me. You all take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.